don't. Come on, don't be a lag. Oh, no, okay. The latency caught up.
We on? We're on.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Hey,
not watching yet? So, mic check on me. This might be too low, to be honest.
Mic taste 1 2. Mic taste 1 2.
There we go. It's a little higher.
Save that link. Where's that link? Testing 1 2. It's gotta be a lot higher.
What about me? Yo, test, mic check, 1784. What about me? Yo, test. Sounds good. Is that volume all the way up?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Live here from Desert Christian Academy. Kevin Fellow alongside Jim Eisenacher. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Live here from Desert Christian Academy. Kevin Fellow alongside Jim Eisenacher.
You get a lot of feedback.
Okay. It's from the video.
Yeah. How's that look?
I like it.
It's super cheap, but I think it works for us.
Sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
This guy rules.
You just say that because he's right there?
No. That came in already. And then Mr. Harrison.
Thank you so much. I'll take $20.
Hello, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right, sweet. You get Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we're gonna probably do a halftime and a post game. But I think we might have enough to do it out on the field.
Bring in new people?
I don't know yet. Play it by ear.
That'd be cool. Get some people like, hey, what do you think?
say yes, answered it.
What did he say?
He said that would be cool to interview people.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I added net onto it. How does that look?
I like it. For now.
It looks so cheesy.
Like I said.
It works for us though. I could probably make a better one on my laptop. It only used half the percentage of my phone to do all that.
0.5% or half the percentage?
Half the percentage.
Oh.
I'm only at 42 now. This is like WrestleMania all over again. Battery's gonna die before the game even starts.
Well, do you have your charger?
I have my portable charger, my tiny one.
You didn't bring a cord. I don't have the USB.
Nope, usually I bring it. Didn't think to bring it this time. Yeah, man.
Phil Nye. Hey, remember about a year ago there was a video that went viral and it was a bunch of like goth kids underneath that overpass dancing?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I'll just show you, they redubbed it, but they're dancing to the Bill Nye the Science Guy theme. It's hilarious.
Oh, I think I have seen that.
Sorry, I was poopy pants.
Not a problem, man. You
I
got a
had
game
a
to get
lot
ready
on my
for.
mind right there in that moment. You know,
Hey, it's all right.
a big turd. So I apologize.
AE on
You got a lot of.
on week 0.
It's game day, man.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Wow, it's just a lot of everything you see. I had to coordinate and get help. And you guys brought a cord. Nice. Did you? Is that yours?
No, that is the
Maintenance.
yeah, what's his name?
Fernando.
I'll hold the papers, make it look like I'm doing something.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm collecting the papers.
Cool.
You know what we should totally do because most of our stuff is gonna have like the logo of
The product?
The product. We should like make like little things right here or like a sticker or something like that or a claim that goes with.
Get little decals. I'll put one on my laptop. So when do we go? Are we still on? Are we on right now? Like is that rolling?
It's like
Okay. I'm gonna share the link out. I keep everything clean, bro. High school campus. Yeah, I only coached at one of those.
That's a good point. Facebook still doesn't. I cannot wait for that.
I don't see the link.
I'll send it to you.
Did you see my post that I put up? That was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was funny. I said,
Ryan Lucky is oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm funny.
It was not funny.
It was hysterical. I'm funny.
So like that. Phil Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, it's not that funny.
I want to meet him. No, that would be
Two
awesome.
guesses as to who posted that.
Chick.
Nope.
I have no idea.
You have one more guess.
Alex Colago.
Nope.
Oh, I would have never guessed
I know,
that.
that's why I said it.
Did you see that did you see the picture I put up of what the city of Indigo did this week?
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome. No, and did you see that when I comment? I posted on my personal one, and I
I can't wait to call it.
Oh no, I also commented because someone said that was awesome. And I was like, so I tagged. I'm friends with Linda Evans, who's the mayor of La Quinta. And I said that her and I tagged the mayor of Palm Desert. So you guys need to do some flag game.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do Facebook Live for the first time. Prep Sports Net. Describe your live video. Sports. Every time I type in prep sports, oh, I don't have enough servers to go live. Anytime I type in prep sports, what follows after it is announcer of, and then after that is the year, because I typed it so many times.
Oh, I gotta take that part out. Sherman doesn't want people going to that. Doesn't want people going to the GoFundMe anymore.
Oh no?
No, they charge 8%.
Huh?
They charge 8%.
Ooh, yeah.
So they found a charity that does zero.
Why don't they reach out to the Desert Cancer Foundation?
It's a group. This group that they're using is so that people can personally do crowdfunding, but
Yeah.
it's they don't, because it's all designed for medical purposes. They don't charge anything.
Easily I can have this mic and hide.
The front page is still the Cat City thing.
Oh yeah, I see that. You gotta change that.
No, it's for some reason that's it. Just
Because it was the
default.
first time you went live.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you should reach out to the Desert Cancer Foundation. Oh, that's what I forgot. Ribbons.
Yeah, I know.
Dang it. I really wanted to wear those too. Thought they were a good idea.
Well, we should do a video for we gotta do the alfalfa. That's her thing.
I don't have hair.
No, that's her thing. That's how she says it.
Oh.
How Riley says it. I wonder if we can get the cheerleaders to do something.
Like right now? Because we're about to go live in 5 minutes.
No, we'll do it during like halftime or something like that.
Oh.
We'll say, hey, we're with Team Riley.
You know what you need to do is since you have media credentials for Comic-Con, you need to see if you can get Stan Lee to do a drop. Welcome, true believers.
Listen, welcome, true believers.
Mine's a lot better than yours.
I know. I'm the guy who created Spider-Man.
I created Spider-Man. Ever since Phil left, mine's gotten a little better.
We would have.
I've created Spider-Man. Listen to Talking Tech and forget Phil. He is a terrible person.
We would see.
Excelsior.
You would have to get him to say one for Prep Sportsnet as well. That'd be awesome.
You're listening to Prep Sportsnet. Why? I'm talking sports I don't understand, but Spider-Man could have been the best quarterback in Ball State. I gotta get Phil to give me feedback on that.
His impersonations are pretty darn
It's
good.
gotten a lot better. He slips sometimes. Sometimes he slips into
His
other
Jerry
things.
Seinfeld's not bad.
Why? No idea, Jerry. No idea. I've never seen Seinfeld.
I watched it. It was okay.
I just couldn't get into it. One of my friends is obsessed with it. She's like, you need to give it a chance. I said, every time I do that, I get a headache. Okay. Why'd you do that?
I dropped it on the floor by accident.
So wait, you barely dropped it at tour? Wow,
they're pretty-
that is dumb.
But they're super.
And this is the thing you paid $900 for, right?
$100.
Yeah. Oh, it's still too much for something you can use your finger to do.
Yeah.
Paid $100 for a pen when you can just go bleep, bloop, bloop. Bring in my laptop next time.
I got my laptop. I just didn't want to bust it out. So let's see.
So I take it as we're not doing the draft right now.
No, I think we should wait after week 0.
Okay, I still get week 0 points though. It's the only way to do it.
We'll play it by ear. I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Because you're drafting them based on those points anyway.
It's like our preseason. So I'm still taking Wyatt #1.
Watching tanks.
Whatever, he's still a junior. It's a keeper league.
No,
It's a keeper league.
It's not a keeper league. Because I'd be keeping
It's
Wyatt.
it's impossible. No, you wouldn't. You dropped him. I had him at the end of last season.
That's true. You did.
So, in fact, your entire team is gone, if I remember correctly. Multiple receivers.
Technically, I can keep my defense.
I had the Palm Springs defense, so it's all right. We should be going live here.
See, it gives me. I can look up. It will tell me that I've gotten posts on Facebook, but I can't look them up. 15 seconds. Let's check my calendar. And we're done. It's 6 o'clock. It is Friday night. I'm Kevin Pill alongside Jim Eisenacher. And I am Kevin Pill, the one true voice of high school sports in the Coachella Valley. And welcome to Prep Sports Net Live, Week 0 of the CIF Southern Section high school football season. Jim, it is finally here. Scrimmages are over. Spring ball is over. Hell Week is over. Training camps are over. It's time to play some football.
I'm excited. I broke out my tie, my football tie, because I am so pumped for tonight. I mean, we've been waiting for this for what, 52 weeks?
It has been a long time coming. Jim got dressed up. He's got the tie. He is rocking the Iron Man headdress there. He got the bandana, rocking it for Comic-Con Palm Springs weekend, which we will be. You're kind of.
I am
bowing
otherwise
out.
occupied.
You're bowing out of the Comic-Con weekend, and I will be representing Talking Tech over at the convention center this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we got a lot to get to. It is Week 0. It is Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, and Super Bowl Sunday all rolled into one.
It's not any of those things, but it's a big event on its own because we don't need to use other national holidays to look at it. Everybody knows the two biggest, there's 4 seasons, especially in the Coachella Valley. There's winter, there's summer, there's football, and then opening day for baseball.
Yeah.
Right now, we're at opening day for football, one of the 4 major seasons in the Coachella Valley.
And we have got ourselves a barn burner of a game tonight.
They're literally going to burn the barn.
They're
They're building a barn
They're
to
building
burn
a barn
right now.
to burn. We are live here on the campus of Desert Christian Academy, my alma mater, the home of the Conquerors, the home of the blue, gold, and white. And tonight they take on the Eagles of Lancaster Baptist. Week 0. It is a rematch of their old days of playing in the Heritage League. They shared leagues, shared a league about 3 years ago. Believe it or not, Jim, this was the precipice of the first Super League involving one of our local schools. In 2013, Desert Christian Academy, they left the Victory League and they went with Desert Chapel, Joshua Springs, Bloomington, Lancaster Baptist, Faith Baptist, Trinity Classical Academy, and they created a Super League. That whole league, in the year before, all teams made the postseason. It was like I said, it was the precipice of a Super League, but it was a one and done. It was kind of like the Kentucky basketball of football leagues. It was gone after 1 year, and then they brought back the Victory League with Desert Chapel and with Palm Valley. So all was right back in the world. But Coach Gilbert said he wanted to have this game. He wanted to play the Eagles of Lancaster Baptist.
We wanted to see it.
We wanted to see it. Both teams, they were kind of lackluster last year, but still 2 very good football teams of 8-man football, and they're going to kick it off tonight.
And not only that, they both have some major players coming back for their junior and senior seasons. The person I'm most looking forward to seeing, we've talked about it to nauseum, Wyatt Snellenberger coming back for just his junior season here at the home of the Conquerors, and it's gonna be phenomenal to see him. But there's still gonna be questions lingering. How's he gonna respond with the loss of his key target in Kenny Gagnon?
But I will say this is where you lose a Kenny Gagnon, you grab an Ananias Bullock, 6'5", 175 pounds. Ananias, granted, a senior, but is definitely going to be a threat across the middle or up top, using the height of the 6'5" frame to do that. But the other big target, of course, is going to be Ben Rother. We'll talk about all this and more. Of course, Ben's at 6'7". He has a lineage of athleticism here at DCA. We'll talk about that more. But this is not the only game, Jim. Oh no. We have almost all 14 teams. As a matter of fact, only 3 teams. Three teams are sitting on the sidelines for Week 0. That means 11 of our local high schools are playing football in Week 0, and we'll give you the full rundown of that schedule here momentarily. But let's first get you how you can get involved with tonight's show. You can you can tweet at us at Prep Sports Net. _ net. Of course, I can't forget about that.
Because Kevin's not fast enough to get real, Twitter handles.
Well, I think I looked at it this way. I got the Facebook page first.
That's all that matters.
And then someone saw it coming and went and got the Twitter handle.
Well, you know what? I think we can figure out a way to get Prep Sportsnet back. I mean,
There might be some money involved.
no, I don't think so. You just have to complain to Twitter a lot. I mean, that's what I get. That's how I get things done on Twitter. And not only that, other ways you can tune in. Get down here and check out the game. Of course, right here, Desert Christian Academy in Bermuda Dunes. Is it technically Bermuda
It
Dunes?
is Bermuda Dunes.
It is Bermuda Dunes.
It's off Yucca Lane. It is between Country Club and Avenue 42. It has been here since the 1970s. It is the actually believe get this Jim.
Oh, we're gonna get a knowledge bomb.
This is the fourth oldest high school in the Coachella
Oh
Valley.
wow.
Yes, the oldest being Coachella Valley High School.
Absolutely.
The second oldest is Palm Springs. Then, of course, all the way back in the late 40s, early 50s, we had Indio. But it wasn't until 1977 that the Desert Christian High School, then known as Christian School of the Desert, was founded by the Teagues and the Fultons. They created, and the Spates. They all wanted a brand new faith-based private institution for students to have small classroom and have a more intimate interaction in the classroom, to be able to get one-on-one opportunities for their education. Of course, sports didn't become a part of the Conqueror landscape for many years, but it didn't take very long to break into the eight-man football realm, and of course they dominated for years. Softball
Yeah, it didn't
and
take long
volleyball.
to dominate the 8-man football round.
Well, it took a little bit of time on the 8-man football.
Well,
but
I mean,
they
not when you
dominated
compare to
sports.
other teams that come into 8-man. They don't
Yeah.
dominate right off the bat, but I mean, you're looking at from
Overall.
building a program from the most looking forward to, and that's going to be right across the way in the valley at Palm Desert, my alma mater. That's not the reason I'm looking forward to it, really. But just some stuff I heard from the head coach Shane McComb about how they want to turn it into an event, how they want to grow the entire thing, and that's something that I always thought while I was at Palm Desert, the school really lacked, and there's really only. In fact, I can't think of any schools down here that make their football games a true event for a community.
The only other school that does do that is right here at Desert Christian Academy, and you'll see this because, Jim, this is for the first time for you.
Yeah.
You're experiencing an 8-man football, but for the first time, you're going to experience the DCA atmosphere.
That's the first time I've even been on this campus,
That's
and I live
exact-
right down the street.
Yeah, this is exactly what they do, is they make it into a family event, kind of a carnival atmosphere, so to speak. It's almost like an arena football style atmosphere.
Could I compare it to, because I was at Xavier, kind of the same atmosphere? Is it a little like that?
Better. You are literally on top of
No
the
offense to
action.
Xavier, obviously.
No,
Yeah.
Xavier. Obviously, Saints Field. You're kind of away from the field a little bit. But
Yeah.
You have opportunities here. You have opportunities here at DCA to literally be right on top of the action, and you're going to see that firsthand. It's basically, for those of you NASCAR fans, it's like going to Bristol and just being right on top of the bull
So are we
ring.
going to storm the field
Hey,
at
there's
halftime to do our halftime show?
probably right. Hey, get this, by the way.
I'm getting this.
So you have Facebook.
We got Facebook.
Facebook.com/PrepSportsNet. You can find us on Twitter at PrepSports_net. You can find us. You can email the show officialprepsportsnet@gmail.com. What else? Oh, Instagram.
We have an
We have
Instagram.
an Instagram
Oh.
at PrepSportsNet. But get this.
I'm getting this.
You see this right here?
No, because my glasses are on.
That's a phone number to text in.
We have a text number.
We do have a text number, 760-289-5034. If you have any questions or anything for us, that is going to be available to you. Again, 760-289-5034.
And don't tell Kevin how bad he is, because then I'll have to carry the show, and I'm already going to have to do that anyways. And we want to pep him up. We want to build him up.
Well, I appreciate that. You mentioned, though, the party atmosphere that is going to be at Palm Desert. So let's jump into that game. Desert Hot Springs is going to come to town. They're going to take on the Aztecs in their season opener. That's another big game that we're kind of keeping an eye on.
That's the first time DHS has been back at Palm Desert for at least a couple seasons.
For at least for a couple of years. I know that Will Littell has really got that program redialed in. They're doing a fantastic job and creating a kind of a community. They had they actually had the entire team last night sit down at a community center. They had potluck dinner served for them. They had actually a non-faith based speech presented actually by one of the faith leaders in their community, but it was more of a talk, a kind of a lecture, so to speak, about community and leadership. And Coach Littell spoke very highly of the event last night, and I got to give him a lot of credit. He has done so much to reinvigorate that community in Desert Hot Springs. It has so much negative attention, but the Golden Eagles have done such a great job in that community. They constantly are doing donating to like food banks. They go and they'll serve food on, after a grueling game on a Friday night, they'll go out on a Saturday morning. Matter of fact, a couple times last year, Coach Littell wanted to come in and talk about it, but he couldn't because he was donating his time on a Saturday morning after playing probably an overtime matchup. They're donating the time on a Saturday morning.
Yep.
So an amazing community. I think this is going to be a heck of a matchup. Coach Littell does lose a lot of talent from their 2015 roster, including their starting quarterback and starting tailback. Palm Desert, kind of the same thing. We've heard Phil the last couple weeks talk about they've lost Bo Berryhill. They lost Tommy Jacobson. They don't know what the status is of Matthew Fitzgerald. We know that he's been kind of a toss-up when it comes to even being on the team.
Kind of wonder where his mind is at.
Exactly.
Too.
So we don't know much about Palm Desert. We talked with Shane McComb earlier this summer, and he didn't even know. He didn't have names down yet. He just had numbers.
Yeah, he hadn't even really visited the kids. I think is what he said.
So that's the downside about interviewing a guy back in June when you got football kicking off in August, is you don't know much about their current roster. But
yes and no, but you got to remember, Pat Blackburn is still on staff after stepping down and retiring. He knows these kids. Some of them he's known generations of. So it's not like they're losing a whole lot there by the head coach not meeting them. I mean, obviously you're not going to get into knowing him. You're not going to get into the systems, but in terms of knowing how the talent works, Pat Blackburn is still there. That is a huge commodity for the Aztecs.
And of course, they take on Desert Hot Springs. We'll have a full rundown of our picks, because we have no dog in the race in any of these games because we're not doing any of the play-by-play.
Also, dogs aren't racing.
It's a thank you, literal Jim.
Do we even have any dog mascots in the valley? I know we have lions, but that's not a dog.
The
That's a cat.
closest thing would be the Bulldogs at Hemet. And
Yeah,
they will be
pretty
playing.
much.
They will
Ironically, where Shane McComb played his high school football.
and they will be playing the
Wow,
Knights
that's
of
what we call a segment.
They will be playing the Knights of Shadow Hills in just a couple of weeks. Matter of fact, Shadow Hills has switched gears. Shadow Hills, they're going on the road to Hemet, but they're taking on Hemet West Valley tonight. That whole area up there, Talkwitz, West Valley, Hemet, they've had a plethora of success.
Oh yeah, they have.
Up there in the I don't want to call it, it's not the high desert, but not even the mountains, but up there, up in the Hemet Valley, they've had some great success over the years. Matter of fact, we mentioned they play the Bulldogs of Hemet in a couple of weeks, and they're going to have their hands full, because it wasn't even just a couple of years ago that Hemet won the Commissioner's Cup in boys sports, and then turned around, oh, by the way, the next year, and won it in girls sports. So they are very athletic up in Hemet, and West Valley is no slouch in the slightest. But this is, though he played a half a season last year, this is the coming out party for Seth Morales.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like we've been waiting to see him, and we saw what he did when he was able to get in last season after his 5-game, not suspension, but sit-out, I guess you call it.
Well,
I don't know the actual term.
He transferred. They call it a sit-out. A 30,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
30-day kind of grace period or whatever.
Yes.
But he transferred from Indio High School, and because he played varsity football for the Rajas, and then was going to play, obviously made the team at Shadow Hills, he had to sit out. Because he didn't literally move cities, so he had to sit out. And unfortunately, the 30 days cost him 5 games, not 4 games, because just the way the schedule worked out. But nonetheless, Seth will play a full season, barring any kind of health catastrophes. I'm really looking forward to the 2016 campaign for Seth Morales.
We talked about it last week. He is our number 1 ranked player going into this season in terms of impact players, and it's going to be really good to see him. And we saw a different Knights team when he came in after those first 5 games. And I'll be the first to say it, I doubted his mobile ability. We always talk how he's a pocket passer, but when they ran that little modified read option with him, he showed more mobility and more athleticism than I gave him credit for. And hey, I'll be the first one to stand up and say I apologize, Seth Morales, and I am looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Some of the teams we mentioned that are not competing this evening, La Quinta High School being one of them. However, they are on the road in a scrimmage against Esperanza High School, who also is taking week 0 off. Talked at length with Coach Dan. I know. Dan Armstrong last night after I appeared on ESPN. And I
You
apologize.
made your ESPN debut.
I made
huh?
my ESPN debut. Granted, it was a 15-minute segment with the one and only Julie Bueller and Pete Fox.
Did Pete ever get his voice fixed? Or
No, it was the strangest thing that
yeah, I
happened.
was listening to it, and he was fine, and then he wasn't.
I want to almost take blame for it because
I'm sure you will get it.
Right when I walked in, he said it was almost like as if a dust storm went through and he swallowed sand. But it was the oddest thing to watch him just absolutely lose his voice in the matter of seconds.
Hey, it's happened to the best of us, right?
Yes, it
I mean,
happened to
not
me.
me, because like always in life, I am the exception that proves the rule.
Well, moving right along.
I like this whole doing our own thing now.
What do you mean?
I don't have to be careful on what I say.
Yeah, I know.
I can give my whimsicalness as opposed to not doing that.
Again, if you want to get involved with the show, if you missed it, you can actually text into the show now. We do have a text line for you. The phone number for that is area code 760-289-5034. Jim is going to be live tweeting tonight's game. I'll be getting some video and whatnot for our friends over at KMIR. Good to be working side by side with Julie again. Excited to see what she has to offer. Kind of a side note, we'll kind of plug it a little bit there. Is Friday Night Lights is back. KMIR doing a full-fledged kind of dive into high school
rebooting
football.
it,
They're
yeah.
kind of rebooting it, and I'm really excited about what they're going to have to do.
Oh, I am too. I mean, anything that spotlights these local athletes, I'm 100% in favor for, because we live in a community, this entire valley, that's not really sheltered, but the stuff that needs to get the run in this valley doesn't, and I'm glad that KMIR is going to take that step, and of course us here at Prep Sports Net, to build up these players that deserve to have their names recognized.
Jim Eisenacher, Kevin Keller with you live here on YouTube. Again, the social media call-outs, again, at prep_sports_net. That's what you want to follow if you want to get the live updates throughout the game. We will be back, by the way, we will be back on the air shortly after the start of halftime, but we will be broadcasting actually just outside of Conqueror Field.
Literally under the Friday Night Lights.
Under the Friday Nights, right on the edge of Conqueror Field, a.k.a. the Tommy Dome, here at Desert Christian Cottage.
You got to give us that story about why it's called the Tommy Dome, because there's no dome, Kevin.
Okay, well, I'll break it down like this. Obviously, I went to Desert Christian High School, now known as Desert Christian Academy. A longtime friend of mine, his name is Tommy Fulton. Now, you recognize the last name. I just mentioned the Fulton family a few moments ago. They were the founders of the school. Tommy was a grade below me, but we were longtime friends. We lived in the same community, and we always joked in our class that Tommy had kind of a leg up because he was the principal's son. And again, no disrespect, Mr. Fulton, but it was, kids will be kids.
You're going to get called to the principal.
Oh, I totally am. I'm 35 years old. I'm still going to get called to his office. And he's not even the principal here anymore. But the joke going around was that whenever Desert Christian would move into their new campus, their new dedicated state-of-the-art campus, that because it was so hot, and we always played day games of football.
Yeah.
We never had night games. We'd either play Saturday mornings or we played Friday
Like
afternoons.
a lot of eight-man teams.
So we said, well, Tommy, it's only, and of course it goes by Tom now, but it just sounds better. We always joke, well, Tommy, if your dad's going to build this new school, he's got to build a dome stadium for our 8-man team, and of course he's got to call it the Tommy Dome. So it was always just kind of the running joke.
Now, is this a running joke between you guys or the entire school?
Most of the high school.
Okay.
Mostly between at the time, the class of 1999 and the class of 2000. Yes, I am that old. Compared to Jim. But fast forward, we actually had a science fair, and they made some kind of geometric dome out of octagon squares, and they dubbed it the Tommy Dome. So actually, the Tommy Dome for about a day did exist. But the story behind the Tommy Dome is that it was the fictitious football stadium that someday the Fulton family was going to build, and we demanded it to be named after their son,
Well, that's a good story.
who is, by the way, their defensive coordinator.
Oh, so he is here.
He is still here. He is on campus.
He
and
wants
maybe,
to make sure he gets those naming rights, man. I wouldn't
so-
leave either.
So I'm hoping for his sake, when they do eventually build a new campus, that they will build a stadium. And even if it's not a dome stadium, they have to call it the Tommy Dome. It would just be hysterical. I find things funnier than you do.
I find it funny. I'm pretty sure they would name it something different.
They'll call it
And then-
Concord Field, Concord
Yeah, I
Field,
mean-
something like that.
Because, like you said, you graduated in '99. It was
I still get
getting
people,
close to 20 years ago.
I still get people to text me and say that was the funniest reference ever. I know that a friend of mine, Mike Felty, who used to work for the Desert Sun, now he works for a marketing department or a marketing company, heard the reference a couple of weeks ago and just laughed hysterically. He says, I've heard Tommy Dome in 20 years. So he was pretty stoked about it.
Oh, well, you know what? It's what the people want.
Moving right along, let's go to
Kevin,
the top.
the man of the people.
Let's go right to the top of the list. We were talking in pregame, or I should say show prep, we were talking about, we're really excited about the Mayor's Cup. And the city of Indio
Yes,
is getting really
yes.
behind the Mayor's Cup. They actually, and you can see the picture on our Facebook page. The city of Indio actually, the city of Indio prides themselves on being the city of festivals. And they always have these great banners celebrating the Date Festival, the Tamale Festival, Coachella Fest, Stagecoach, whatever, maybe even festivals that don't take place within the city limits of Indio. They love the atmosphere of festivities. And
Did you say Tamale Festival?
I did say the Tamale
Okay.
Festival. Can't forget that one. I put that right behind
That's,
the Date Festival.
that's my favorite one.
You got to put the food ones at the top of the list.
Absolutely.
But one of the things that they did was they made a banner and they had it hanging from multiple light poles in the city of Indio is the Mayor's Cup, the inaugural Mayor's Cup that's going to take place on October 6th. It's going to be a Thursday night, and it's going to be between Indio High School and Shadow Hills. It's the first time ever that these two schools will meet, and believe it or not, it's the first time ever that two public high schools will play each other in football that are from the same city limits. I know it's a long stat to go by. Xavier Prep's private school.
Oh, okay. I was saying because they're still in the same.
I was
city.
corrected, by the way. I had a listener correct me a couple of weeks ago. I said that it was the only 11-man school. Xavier Prep, I said, played in Thousand Palms. Technically, Xavier Prep does exist still in the city of Palm Desert. I was incorrect. The city of Thousand Palms literally goes right around the Xavier campus.
Yeah, it's because of the preserve. Yeah.
So, which by the way, we are going to be live from Xavier Prep in, I think, actually it might be next Thursday. I don't know if you're going to be able to be there, but I'm going to be there for a short stint, and we're going to broadcast live from the September Sizzle, and that is an exclusive, one-of-a-kind cross-country event that Aaron Lyons and the Saints of Xavier Prep created, and is a relay race.
Yep.
It is a 2.5 mile, so it's a toned-down cross-country race. It's a 2.5 mile race.
It's like a friendly.
It's
Yeah.
a 3-man team, so you're actually running a lot longer than the standard 3-mile cross-country race. But each person does a 2.5 mile leg. It's a lot of fun. Matter of fact, schools like Xavier Prep, Shadow Hills, and whatnot, and everyone on your papers that you demanded me get you, you can go ahead and get them.
It's more fun watching them blow away.
Those were your
I'm
rosters.
gonna go get those now.
Because you just realized you were going to need those.
No.
So, anyways, I'll cover for Jim while you're out. Make sure we're still on the air. But it's a one-of-a-kind experience, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be taking place next Thursday on the campus at Xavier Prep. It's the September Sizzle. It is a one-of-a-kind cross-country relay race, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We are just moments away from breaking down the full schedule of games. We are taking you to 6:30. Kickoff is 7 o'clock out here. We still alive on the air? We're good to go. Am I looking good?
No.
And by the way, we are well aware of the lighting situation, and we are working on that. We hopefully will have it resolved by next week if it is looking bad. I know that we're a little darker than usual, like we went out and had a suntan or something like that.
There's a reason why, and I'm gonna talk until I get this book done. There's a reason why the lighting's like that. Is because the problem. You know what the problem is, Kevin? I'm too good looking, so we have to tone it down. Because if not, I mean, nobody's gonna listen to what we're saying.
They're here to listen to us anyways, not look at us.
I don't know. People like looking at me.
Well, let's get right to the meat and potatoes of this.
I haven't beat potatoes.
Yes, that's going to be fantastic. Let's get right down to the meat and potatoes of why we are here. We are here to talk football. We are here to talk about 8-man and 11-man football. Let's go down the list. I was getting to Indio. We're up against a time here. Well, I guess I'm the boss. I can say whatever we want. I like when they do when Stone Cold does a podcast on the WWE Network and they're interviewing Vince McMahon or Triple H. He goes, hey, I run the thing. Let's just keep going. Let's go to the top of the list. Desert Mirage, Indio. These are two teams that Indio struggling. They won one game last year. Desert Mirage, they split the season at 5-5. They lose their quarterback. They lose a lot of key players on the offensive line, but they do bring back,
Running back.
and they do lose their main running back as well. But they bring back a lot of talent, a lot of speed, and they are going to be doing a lot of things that are different this year. Real quick, tell us a little bit what you know about this game and who do you like in this game, Indio Desert Mirage?
This is a perfect game for both teams. Both massively underachieved last season, so it's going to be really good to see them pick up against competition that is at their equal. With that being said, a lot of talent being lost both ways, but I'm liking Desert Mirage for this game for the simple fact that they have a better atmosphere going on around them right now.
That game is going to be played at Indio High School and Desert Mirage. Again, I think there is still a lot of talent left on that team. Indio, they've got a great signal caller that's going to make his debut this year.
We've heard a lot about him.
And, he had a hit or miss in 2015. He had a couple of games that he played. Yeah, I got tangled up there. And I think that it might be, who knows? It might be a year that the Indio turns the tide. I know that they've got a new offensive coordinator. I know they've got new coaches coming in. Martin White is really focused on getting this program. He knew he had huge steps that he needed to take. He won one game in 2015. I know he's the type of coach that goes, I'd love to win all 10, but I got to take those baby steps. If he can win 2 games this year, if he can win 3 games this year, he'd be happy. And then he just knows he needs to improve the next year.
The best part is and I mean this with the best intentions, is they really can't take a step back from the season they had last year. That was a lot of stuff that just didn't go right on the field, a lot of injuries. They look healthy and rested and ready to, prove us wrong this season.
Moving right along, I'm also going to go with Desert Mirage, but I hope the best for Indio. Moving to another big game is the Cathedral City Lions. They really need to get back to the basics, get back to square one. It was a brutal season for Richard Lee and the Lions. I know that he is optimistic that it's going to be a better 2016 campaign, but at the same time, he knows he has a long road to get back to where he was. Even just 2 seasons ago, they play host to the Arabs, the mighty Arabs of Coachella Valley High School.
You know what? This game is going to be a really smash-mouth game between 2 teams that know each other, and the first time that they're not playing in league against each other, of course, with Coachella Valley moving over to the Deanza League. We've heard a lot about the quarterback that's going to step up to fill in the shoes for Darius Holsey in CV. I've heard enough to where I'm sold on him. I don't remember his name right now, to be honest with you, off the top of my head.
We've just got so much going on at week 0.
Exactly, but I like CV. Cathedral City really has a lot of rebuilding, kind of like Indio they need to do. They, of course, are suffering from the Rancho Mirage factor of, the funnel of everybody going to Rancho from there, which has really hurt them. But like you said, Coach Lee has done some amazing things. I'm looking forward to watching them steer the competitive balance back in their favor. But with that being said, I got to go with the Mighty Arabs.
I like what they're doing with Cameron Lee at quarterback. He didn't have a stellar year last year, but again, it's growing pains. He was kind of thrown to the wolves. He had a very young team, a very depleted offensive line. And then you look at Jordan Wallace. He's the younger brother of Orlando. He's got some large shoes to fill. He also did not have a stellar year last season. But again, it's only up from here. I like Cathedral City's chances, but I like the Mighty Arabs. They have a gigantic chip residing right here on their shoulder. And a lot of it has to do with, quote-unquote, with us in the media, and I'll throw ourselves on the bus, of them, quote-unquote, being downgraded to the Deanza League. They don't feel they were. They feel, and I agree with them, that it was a lateral transition with Shadow Hills.
Agreed.
I will say this right now. I said that they're going to finish 3rd in the Deanza League this year. If they could come out and make this a statement game, because remember, they go on the road against Palm Desert and Central before playing Indio on September 16th. So 3 straight road games. Matter of fact, before they even open up league play, they will play 4 out. I would say, Coachella Valley High School will play 4 out of 5 games on the road, and before they even they go into league play. Now, granted, they're week 5, they will be in a bye before going on the road against Rancho Mirage. So they will basically be playing a game that could decide the league championship in week 6. I like their chances. I think tonight's a statement game. I don't like to see blowouts, but I think the Arabs come out and they're dialed in. They want to make a statement for the Arab nation, and they win big. Arabs against Cathedral City.
There's one quick thing I want to say, and I want to talk straight to him, to the young Wallace. Don't listen to what other people say, because I've heard it said a lot. Don't try to be your brother. Be your own person, because we see that. I've seen it from a coaching standpoint where, people say, your brother was so great, and they fail to live up to that in their own minds, and it kind of ruins their psyche. So I just want to say that, be your own person. You don't have to be your brother. You can be better than your brother. You can be worse than your brother. Just be you.
Moving right along, Shadow Hills on the road yet again for the third consecutive year. They will start week 0 on the road. This time they will have to go up the mountain and to the Valley of Hemet. They will take on West Valley on the road. We mentioned before, we will see the week 0 debut in the black and purple of Shadow Hills for Seth Morales. A lot of weapons available to him, including J.D. Lang, and also a lot of other untapped resources that Coach Ron Shipley has. By the way, did you see the picture of his son who's playing on the freshman team? He's actually taller than Ron,
oh, wow,
and almost bigger than Ron, and he's on the freshman team.
I don't believe that.
He will be varsity by the time we get to the postseason.
Oh, absolutely.
It's always tough for Shadow Hills to go on the road. It's always tough early on because they're a team that doesn't do well in the figurative first quarter. They don't do well in the early goings of the regular season. They're slow starters. They usually close out strong. Last year, of course, they lost on the last game of the season against Rancho Mirage, and then they missed the playoffs. But again, they finally got it dialed in. Matter of fact, they almost beat 29 Palms on the road. Who do you like, West Valley, Shadow Hills?
You know what? I don't know a lot about West Valley because obviously I don't get the chance to cover them with us being down here. All I know is I played against them, and if they're anything now like they were then, it's going to be a physical game. With that being said, I got to go with the Shadow Hills Knights. I like what they got going on. Seth Morales, our top impact player of high school football in the Coachella Valley right now. And the thing I'm looking forward to the most is seeing what Coach Shipley, who is predominant run. I want to see what he's going to be doing in the passing game, because if there's anything he does, is have fun. So it's going to be fun to watch that develop.
I want to pick. I'm leaning towards West Valley. I think the home field advantage comes into play for them, but I think Shadow Hills is able to get the job done. They're tired of being kind of the doormat on the road, and they know that they have a lot to prove, that they need to put up some bulletin board material in order to be strong in the Desert Valley League. Though this is not a league game, it's important to start off strong. I'm going to go with the Knights on the road real quick. Notre Dame, Riverside playing host to Xavier Prep. A lot has been reset for the Saints. Who do you like in this game?
I got to go with Notre Dame, unfortunately. Like you said, there's been a lot of turnover at Xavier, so Notre Dame is always stable throughout the years.
I'm going to go with the wild card. I'm going to go with Bob Moyette and the Xavier Saints getting the job done on the road, but I think you're right. I think there's too many question marks for Xavier Prep, but I think somehow, some way, they're able to eke out this game, even though it's on the road. But sometimes, by the grace of God, the Saints travel well, and they always do well on the road. They've been a fantastic road team, especially against the parochial preseason schedule. I like the slim chances that they have. Xavier ekes one out maybe by 1 or 2.
Okay.
Moving right along, we've mentioned earlier at the top of the broadcast, Palm Desert, your alma mater, taking on Desert Hot Springs in the festive atmosphere of Aztec Field. Who do you like, Golden Eagles or Aztecs?
I got to go with the Aztecs. A lot of turnover for Desert Hot Springs, but Aztecs going to be coming in with some newfound. Starts with an E. I can't think of the word right now.
Excitement, energy.
Both of those, sure. Enthusiasm was the word I'm looking for.
That's the word I like too.
A newfound enthusiasm coming in. It's going to be fantastic to see. The new young head coach, from what I've heard, is going to get the most out of his players in Shane McComb. And of course, Pat Blackburn knows his kids, like I talked about. This is going to be a fun game for the Aztecs.
I'm going to go with the upset. Desert Hot Springs gets the job done on the road. Will Littell, a lot of people are picking Palm Desert in the early going to possibly even be a league champion. But Desert Hot Springs, again, they have a gigantic chip residing on this shoulder. And I think they're able to go on the road this shoulder because CV had this one.
Okay.
So no one else has chips on their shoulders. But nonetheless, I think I'm going to go on a limb. Desert Hot Springs also ekes one out on the road. We'll see what Shane McComb and the Aztecs have in store. Moving to Rancho Mirage and Beaumont on the road. This is kind of a personal game because of kind of the connections to the athletic department with Beaumont High School. But nonetheless, this is a year ago, Jim. This week 0 game for Rancho Mirage was go to Coachella and don't get killed. by the end of the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
by the end of the fourth quarter, it was, oh my gosh, where did this Rattlers team come
Yeah.
from? Now the secret is out. Rancho Mirage is one of the one of the highly talked about schools, not only in the Coachella Valley, but in the Southern California region. They're ranked in the top 10 in their division. By the way, did you hear this? Division 4A, according to Max Preps, they are predicting that Rancho Mirage, based on their 9-3 record in 2015, is a early favorite to play in the Southern California Regional Finals for a chance to play in the State 4A championship game. That is phenomenal. They have Rancho Mirage considered to be a Final Four team in the state for Division 4A, but they've got a tough opponent in the form of Beaumont High School.
Do they still have Daniel Whelan?
They still have the kick. They still have the leg.
Then I am going with Rancho, because as long as you have Daniel Whelan, where there's a Daniel Whelan, there's a chance.
Where there's a leg, there is a way, and I think the Irish kicker who's made the switch from one football to the other, I think gets the job done. He is the X factor. I like Rancho Mirage on the road. I also like the fact that we're going to see the debut of this hybrid offense. Are we going to see the new quarterback for Rancho Mirage, or are we going to see Marcus Pryor still pretty much stay under center? What can we say? What can we expect out of Whitehead? And also all the other intangibles that LD Matthew has.
And that defense.
Travis O'Brien and the front four or front three, whatever scheme that they run, I'm super excited about that.
The scariest part is they didn't lose that much.
No, they did not. Rancho or Moline?
Oh, I got to go Rancho.
I'm going to go Rancho on the road. Palm Valley's on the bye week. La Quinta's on the bye week as well. So is Desert Chapel.
I've got Palm Valley, Desert Chapel, and La Quinta.
Real quick before we get to our game of the week, Palm Springs at Redlands. Oh my goodness, what a tough game for Palm Springs to draw in week 0 when they've lost pretty much everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, but you know what? Coach Murphy has those kids going in that system all the way through. I got to go with Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, Redlands. Redlands is always a tough opponent when you're playing up there in that area. It's always a very, very crazy atmosphere up in that area of Redlands and whatnot. I want to say Redlands at home, but I think Palm Springs, with enough talent coming up from the JV program in 2015, and of course what they have left in the tank, especially in the form of the ever dangerous Damian Lee,
Yeah.
I think that he could end up being a huge part of this game. I like Palm Springs on the road.
Yep.
That moves us to the game of the week. Desert Christian Academy playing host to Lancaster Baptist. We saved the best for last, and we are 23 minutes away, now 22 minutes away from kickoff. That means we've gone a little long, so we have to get through this. Jim, this is the first time ever that you've had a chance to not only experience a game here at Desert Christian Academy, but the first time you've had a chance to experience 8-man football up close and personal. It's going to be a lot of fun. Two teams that know each other well. Lancaster Baptist, let's take a look at 2015 for the Eagles. They finished at 2-7, not a fantastic year for that Eagles team, but still they managed to get a few things out of the 2015 school year, and that is returning not only their quarterbacks from 2015, but their leading rusher. Now, granted, their leading rusher only rushed for 483 yards, but that's what happens when you go 2-7. The same running back also managed to throw for 496 yards. I know that seems like a small number, but at the same time, considering you went 2-7, that's not bad.
And you're running back.
And of course, that's what. Yeah, and of course, we're talking about current junior Nate Anderson, who I would assume is probably going to be under center for the Eagles tonight.
You know what? This is going to be a very physical game. Of course, I don't know that much about 8-man football. I've been following it for the past season, and I'm excited to see what I'm going to see. But with that being said, I'm going to take my upset special, and I'm going to go with the Eagles, walking away with the victory here.
Thank goodness we don't have too many Conqueror fans standing around us. We were kind of hoping for a little bit more of a game day feel, but they're all out there getting.
I'm the lead Corso.
You are the lead Corso.
I guess,
So you would
technically.
throw the Eagle head on right now.
Well, I don't know if I'd throw an eagle head on, because that would just look weird with the rest of my body without feathers, Kevin. But that's who I'm going to be taking.
I
in this
would
game.
right now, if I had it, I would bust out. I would go old school. I'd bust out the shield and the slingshot. I'd go total David on you, and I'm going to pick the Conquerors to beat the Eagles tonight.
It's a very good pick. Look, we can talk about the record that they had last season with both these teams, but it's a new season. It's a new chance to get their way going. Nobody saw the Rattlers doing what they did last year.
That's
Maybe
very
this
true.
is the season for the Eagles.
It's going to be a great game. We are looking forward to it again. The biggest story that's going to come out of this game is what junior quarterback Wyatt Snellenberger can do to outdo his sophomore performance. Can he have another fantastic year? You already heard Jim Eisenacher said that if he has the #1 draft pick in our fantasy league, which we're hoping to kickstart next week, he is going to take.
He's already been taken.
He has been taken.
He's been taken. He's gone.
So the clock hasn't even started. Wyatt Snellenberger is already sitting down with with management. He's inking out a deal. He's got his agent. He's already said.
We signed him to a 2-year contract.
Of course, I say that in jest. But again, really looking forward to this game. Of course, look for us at halftime.
Yep.
We'll have Jim live tweet at prepsports_net for live updates about when we will be doing our live hit from halftime out on the field. And of course, we'll be back at the conclusion of tonight's game as well to give you an update on all the goings on. Again, let's give you a full rundown of the schedule for tonight in high school football action. Again, Desert Mirage is on the road against Indio. Coachella at Cathedral City. Shadow Hills is on the road against West Valley. We mentioned we're here at Desert Christian. They're taking on Lancaster Baptist. Notre Dame is playing host to Xavier Prep. Desert Hot Springs on the road against Palm Desert. Rancho Mirage is actually, I take that back, is at home against Beaumont. I made an error there. And of course, we mentioned before, Palm Springs on the road against Redlands. We'll be back at halftime. If you don't stick around, join us next week. We will be at Palm Springs High School as the Indians take on Scripps Ranch. Where are they going to be? Where is Scripps Ranch going to be after week 0 in the San Diego City section? Where's Palm Springs going to be after a game against Redlands? But if you are going to join us, we'll see you at halftime. Stay right here on Prep Sports Net, Facebook.com/PrepSportsNet, or you can follow the feed. We'll tweet out the link for you to join us on YouTube. All right, guys, we will see you in just probably about an hour or so at halftime. Enjoy the game again at PrepSports_net to get live updates. We'll see you guys at halftime.
You have to get a remote for this thing. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.